My name is Zella Gabehart. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, and I want to go to the UFC. I think my first memory of martial arts was when I was about 7 or 8. My mom was training at a nearby UFC gym for self-defense and cardio, and I would tag along. And I remember feeling the energy in the room and how aggression isn't viewed as a bad thing here. It's something you can control and channel. And I really admired that. I think before I ever threw my first punch, I still connected with fighting in a competitive spirit. I knew that I wanted to build my life around this very early on in training. I didn't want it to just be a hobby, but something I could fully commit to. The dream of fighting developed later in life. I grew up wanting to be a professional athlete, though. I remember dreaming about going to the Olympics for figure skating, actually. But once I moved to Louisiana, that dream subsided because I didn't have any skate rinks nearby, and the alternative was going back to my roots, which was training. I've been keeping up with the UFC for a few years now, and I've made connections along the way with UFC fighters, and I've always respected them to the highest degree. And everything they tell me about it is something I can only dream of being a part of. I think the adrenaline and the level of entertainment that the UFC brings, and really all of the components, are something I strive for as a fighter to be a part of. When I first came to Thailand, I was nervous, excited, and ready to buckle down for Muay Thai training for several months. And I remember immediately being approached by just some of the most friendly, welcoming people with open arms. And very quickly did I know that I was going to love my stay here, and I was looking forward to what was to come. The biggest difference between training here in Thailand versus back home would be, as silly as it sounds, the AC. There isn't AC here at most of the gyms, whereas where I train at home, it's a much cooler environment. Besides that, I think the level of spirituality behind the sport makes a big difference. It's considered part of their culture and part of their religion to train and to compete in Muay Thai, to go watch these fights and support these athletes. Whereas it's a little bit more niche back home. And I really admire that, because as someone that wants to build a life around it, I've found a place that many have built their lives around it. Living here in Thailand has absolutely shifted my perspective of discipline and the level of trust and respect this sport. Respect is a major part of both the culture and the sport. And I've been able to connect with my teammates and my coaches in a different way than I do back home. A typical day of training here in Thailand looks like waking up not too early, but early enough to quickly make yourself breakfast and hop on my motorbike and head to the gym. That's around either 9 a.m. or 11, depending on what time I wake up. And I'll train there for about 2 hours before immediately getting some food after. I'll head home. I'll change into a less smelly outfit, and I'll go to the other gym that I strength train at. After I strength train for about an hour and a half, I head to get a massage. From there, I will, if I'm up to it, I can go back to training. Otherwise, I'll go home, get to sleep, and restart. The most challenging part of the sport is maintaining injuries. It's not the fight that's the hardest part. It's everything you have to maintain to step into the cage ready. I see a physical therapist several times a week. I see my masseuse, I strength train, I rock climb, and I do all of these things in conjunction with training to keep my body at its best. There's been 2 trainers at Sting Hive Muay Thai that I've been able to connect with here during my time in Thailand. Shaw is the head coach of Sting Hive, and he has been so supportive in helping me attain my goals. I originally wanted to compete at one of the stadiums, but unfortunately tweaked my ankle, and he was very helpful in rerouting how we look at these 3 months here. The second trainer I've been able to connect with is Open. He has helped improve my footwork and strengthen the foundations in Muay Thai for me. He's been very supportive and patient with me throughout this journey, and I really appreciate all of the techniques he's helped me improve along this journey. After 3 months of training here in Thailand, I have noticed a significant difference in my speed and my control, my level of strength, and I cannot wait to get back into the cage back home. Fighting is as much mental as it is physical, and in and out of the gym, I'm constantly daydreaming about competitively fighting, being in the cage, winning, and moving forward in this journey. I think keeping your eyes on the prize is one of the biggest factors in achieving your goals. While there's occasional nerves that come with fighting, I will not take a fight or step into the cage unless I feel prepared. And when I feel prepared, I'm locked in. And when I'm locked in, nothing can break me. Beyond physical traits, trust and confidence are probably the 2 most important characteristics a fighter needs to continue leveling up and moving forward in their career. It's so important to trust your coach and trust yourself and your teammates and the process itself. It's also important to have confidence and trust in yourself that you can handle anything that's thrown at you and to roll with the punches both in the cage and in life. As a fighter, I've had to sacrifice a lot. I've had to sacrifice time with friends and family. I've had to sacrifice early mornings, late nights, and so forth. I've had to sacrifice my body to many injuries. Although I've had to make a lot of sacrifices, I would still do them all over again because I don't view them as sacrifices or losses. I view them as investments. Everything's temporary, including this trip to Thailand. Although I miss my friends and family, I know that I'm going to see them shortly. I'm grateful for all the support I've received being able to come here, and I'm excited to show them everything I've learned and everything I've acquired here in Thailand. Success in fighting for me is an accumulation of wins, respect, and all the things between that. I don't count my success based off my record, but rather how I feel about how much I've grown as a person and the connections I've made along the way and how well my body is intact by the end of all of it. My time in Thailand will absolutely change my fighting style and the type of fighter I become over the next few years. I've had blessing of coming here twice now. Both times I've seen dramatic improvement in my abilities once returning home. And I don't doubt that I will have the same realization when I get home this time. I would absolutely recommend anyone that's interested to come and train in Thailand. And whether it's for self-defense, cardio, or to compete, this is one of the best experiences I've had in this lifetime. And I can't wait to come back and do it a million more times. A reality of this lifestyle is that it can be over at any moment. Injury is a real thing, and sometimes worse than for better. And I do prepare for that. I stay in university, I study architecture, and I absolutely plan on doing that between my fighting career and afterwards. I just want to say thank you, Thailand, for welcoming me into this beautiful country and giving me a wonderful experience to take back home. I cannot wait to return with all of my heart. Khap khun ka.